So here we are with another technique, reflective technique, that we would like to introduce to you, and that's an activity called making an identity text. And an identity text, it's almost something as a tongue twister, isn't it? So identity text is some kind of vision of yourself that shows you or helps you realize where you're at and where you are headed. And text does not have to be only verbal. Usually identity texts are multimodal and include words, phrases, sentences, but also various shapes. Pictures, even photographs, could be collages, could be painting, drawing, all sorts of things. And so I'll give the word to Lenka, and she'll start talking about her identity text, and then I tell you something about mine.
Okay, so I would like to show you, you will see it in the middle of the video in as a photo. This is my identity text. It contains of 4 parts because one of the ways how to create the text is to follow the sentences beginning with I am, I like, I remember, and I believe. And I have to say that I really enjoyed making it. I was curious what I will find out, because as I first hear the beginnings of the sentences, I didn't know what I will write. But I started, and as you can see, I continued quite for a long time, and I really enjoyed it. And the process was interesting because I started with really concrete things, and then I was more and more general, and I came up with things that I was not actually aware. For example, that one of the things I like is collecting things, because from all my walkographies I collect some stones and leaves. So and this is just one of many let's say discoveries I made of myself during making identity text.
Mm-hmm. And I'm really interested in asking about the central figure, because I can see that you drew yourself in the middle of these 4 quadrants. So what is the meaning of that to you?
When I created those 4 parts, I find out that I need some central point. So I try to draw myself and to
it's a kind of unifying element, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly. So and there I placed phrases what I'm trying to generalize what I find out about myself. For example, that what's important for me is that I have heart for people, that I have open hands, I seek opportunities, I love sharing joy with others, I like looking pretty, then I enjoy feeling comfortable, and what else? That I also need to have hope in my life, and that I love to share it when I have it.
That's beautiful. Yeah, thank you. It's a pity you cannot read all the sentences that go around the 4 quadrants. I am, I like, I remember, and I believe, because really it's quite inspirational.
Yeah, I definitely recommend to do it, because you will find some interesting facts about your life.
Yeah, you learn about yourself. Some things get unveiled, uncovered, that you just don't think of when you on the surface. So it's a nice way. Well, my process of making the identity text was very different from Lenka's, because when I got this task, I was kind of very resistant, reluctant to start, because I didn't want to write. I didn't want to write slogans about my life. And I just wanted to somehow avoid the task. But then I went through with it, and I didn't know, I decided to use some pictures. and I didn't know which pictures and how to put them together. But then I was sitting in my office at school, and I looked around and I saw that what I see are things that I like, that are typical for me, that I have relationship to. So I just took photos of these objects and I put them together in one collage. So my identity text looks like this. You can see here my markers and rulers. This is the keyboard of my computer. Here you can see myself. It's actually a picture when I was lecturing to students. It looks as if I was evoking some strange spirit, but that was a very passionate lecture that I gave on a topic that I like. I'm leaning against my Starbucks mug. Coffee is quite important for me to give me energy, so that's it. Then there are some stones that I keep in my office because I really like the energy of stones. And here you can see myself writing "Be Free" on the board, because I believe that teachers need to be quite flexible, very flexible and open-minded in their lives. And the only words that I do have in my identity texts are not written by my hand, but it's actually this bookmark showing Socrates and his famous popular sentence, "All I know is that I know nothing." And I really like this because I believe that that teachers should be always kind of humble and open to new interpretations, to new knowledge, and so on. And there's another quotation by Gandhi this time here, and it says that be the change you wish to see in the world. And I think that teachers generally have the enormous capacity to open the hearts of their students, and in this way to change the world. So and there's a funny story here because this identity text was made in the time of COVID. This is my face mask that I used at that time, and I don't know if you can see it, but it says class. So again, this is some kind of clue that big part of my identity is being a teacher. But the real word that it said on the mask was classic. So this is a kind of a play of destiny that made it look as class, and it very much fits in my identity text. So in spite of my initial reluctance, I really enjoyed making this identity text, and I keep it in my office, and I just look at it from time to time, and I think that it really expresses who I am as a person and as a teacher.